So once again, welcome to this class, and we are discussing a real good smile. Okay, by Bill Nocturne, and this is the second lecture of this story. So it was not easy for Billy to get placed at that shade, and that's why some tips were given to him by Alfather, who is shown in the story as his neighbor. Okay, actually, see, they had good relations with one another, and that's because of that they could even arrange a meeting of Mr. Billy with Mr. Bidwell, who was the boss of that locomotive shed. So some of the instructions, very important instructions, were given to Billy by Alf Agar, okay, who was his neighbor. The first thing that Mr. Alfather told Billy was what? The first thing I have to tell you here, Mr. Alfather says to Billy, the first thing that I have to tell you, he said, is that Mr. Bidwell will not give a job to any lad, that means a boy, okay, that has been spoken for. Okay, he is he is very against any kind of influence. He believes that every lad should be able to speak up for himself. So young Billy will have to go there and ask for the job himself. Means Alf Agar made it very clear that Mr. Bidwell is against all kinds of influences. If a person goes there with a reference or with recommendation by anyone else for a person, okay, then definitely Mr. Bidwell will straightforwardly reject his application. Even he will not conduct any interview for that person, and that's why he made it clear, Billy, you will have to go directly without anybody's recommendation, and you will have to talk to Mr. Bidwell. So this was the first instruction given by Mr. Alfather to Billy. So it's now clear that no influence anyway, no recommendation. Directly go there and face the interview, and if he likes you, then definitely you will get selected there. Okay. So the next instruction was given. See, whenever you go to the interview, you must be well equipped with the knowledge. You should have the information about the post organization. Okay, this is the first thing, and your appearance should also be good. Okay, your dress sense and all other things. Okay, what you wear, what you have, what kind of boots you wear, etc. Okay, so your dress sense should be there, and so many other things, your habits. Okay, many people have the habit to put their hands in their pockets. Okay, so this is not expected by the person who is actually take the interview. Okay, so these minute and somewhat minor, okay, many time you can say silly, very small, meaningless also in your words, but very important. These are some very important instructions when you go and fill the interview. Okay, because the interview panel is there, but here on the panel there was only one person, and that was Mr. Bidwell. But like other interviewers, he also was of the opinion that the person should be very clear in his opinion, right? So the second instruction was related to this, your appearance and how you should go there. Okay, Mr. Bidwell likes to see a lad with his shoulders well back like this. Okay, he should not be somewhat bent and just going casually there. Okay, so and the third instruction which was given by Mr. Alf Agar to Billy was, Mr. Bidwell doesn't allow mumbling. You should be clear in your whatever you say, in your opinion, you are talking, right? What you want to say, just put the words very straightforwardly, clearly, so that Mr. Bidwell can hear you clearly. You have got to speak up in loud, clear voice. He has given the example also. For example, I have come for a job, sir, and he gave emphasis, laid emphasis on the word sir, so that you should show respect for Mr. Bidwell. At last, Mr. Bidwell was the boss of that locomotive shed, and that's why he told very clearly Mr. Billy that he should use these words, that is sir. That the last instruction was important, and this instruction is about a good smile. In the very beginning, I told that somewhere you'll find this word, okay, good smile, because it has its own significance in the story. As In general also the title itself is a kind of reflection of what is given in that piece of literature. Okay, it is kind of reflection. It is a kind of mirror for you to understand what the piece of literature is about. So it reflects the theme of that particular piece of literature here, particularly the story. That is a real good smile. So what was that instruction? The fourth instruction was like this. Now to come to the main point, the main point what is used here, said Alf, looking very solemn. Okay, there is one thing Mr. Bidwell must have. What is that? He asked. A real good smile, said Alf. How do you mean? What do you mean by real good smile? And he said he emphasized, he gave stress on this word, real good smile. Okay, when you go there, definitely have smile on your face. Okay, don't be sad, don't look sad, right? So when this kid, 14-year-old kid, this 14-year-old lad, this 14-year-old boy asked, "What do you mean by this? A real good smile?" Say, Alf said, "I mean that he can't bear the sight of miserable life." Okay, you should not be sad, miserable. There, if he saw you looking miserable, he would never give you a job, no matter how you were in other respects, in other areas. Okay, you must have a boy with a real good smile. So when you go to the interview, he is instructing, he is giving instructions to Billy that whenever you go there, definitely have a smile on your face. Don't be sad. Don't be overconfident also. Don't be underconfident also. Okay, have a smile on your face. And the day came, and Billy was ready to go to that place to take the interview. Okay, without any recommendation, without any influence, wearing good clothes. Okay, proper facial expressions, right? Smile on the face. So all these instructions were already given. While on the way to the office of Mr. Bidwell, he was literally practicing, okay, how to present himself to the boss, that is Mr. Bidwell, right? And when he then he saw after he walked the way, he saw a building was there, and he asked someone else, and that person pointed out towards that building, and he entered the cabin. Now see, when he entered that building, there was one person, and Billy thought that that particular person must be Mr. Bidwell, and he got ready to present himself to that person and said, "What did he say? Let's see. Good morning, sir," in loud voice and clearly, right? "I have come for a job, sir." He was very confident while talking to that person. Okay, supposedly Mr. Bidwell was there. Okay, "So I don't care how I start, sir. I will soon work my way up, and what's more, I can start this very minute. More on this very minute, just right now. If you give the chance, if you give the opportunity to me, then definitely I would like to start my job right now." That person was impressed with the way Billy presented himself, but he said that, "I can't select you, I can't appoint you." Now Billy was somewhat confused, and then he pointed out towards a person who was just tall with a big jaw and narrow eyes and big black bushy eyebrows, and said that, "Here's Mr. Bidwell. It's better you go there and meet him. Definitely he has the authority to select you." Okay, and he bid him farewell. He gave him good wishes, right? And then Billy met Mr. Bidwell. Now it was the real examination of Billy. Okay, it was a kind of acid test. It was a tough time for Billy. And when he saw Mr. Bidwell, all of his confidence had gone. Okay, his hands automatically entered his pockets, and he even could not be straight like this. Okay, and a kind of melancholy was there on his face. He was somewhat sad, and in that he was a little bit confused also. He was bewildered. Okay, and in that state of mind, he went and met Mr. Bidwell and said, "Do you want any lad, Mr. etc." And he glared at me, and he very clearly said, Mr. Bidwell, when he found Billy, he was humbling, he was mumbling for words, he could not speak clearly. Mr. Bidwell clearly said that no, I'll not select you. We don't want any lads, okay, any kids here. And at the very first time, he rejected Billy. Billy was nervous now, but he was actually naturally, okay, he was very natural while talking to Mr. Bidwell. Even though he had low confidence, but he was very natural and very honest. And when Mr. Bidwell said that we don't want any lights, he said, okay, I would also not like to work here, okay. And he made it clear to Mr. Bidwell, and just within a fraction of a second, left the place. Now, straightly he went to his friend who was working in a spinning mill, and started working there. By evening he worked there, and at the evening he went back to his home. And what happened? Very surprising to Billy, his neighbor Alf Agar came there and said that he was selected. He could not believe the words of Alf Agar, but actually he was selected on the basis of the honesty that he showed to Mr. Bidwell. Actually, see, we are discussing here about non-verbal communication. There was non-verbal communication, and Mr. means here Billy had made it clear to Bidwell. He had spoken out his mind there. What was in his mind? He put it before Mr. Bidwell, and Mr. Bidwell was impressed with his simplicity, with his innocency, and most importantly, what? His clarity. Okay, his clear speaking, his clear talking. But after that, when he was selected, a suggestion was given that don't repeat this. Be very polite to Mr. Bidwell, because he would be his boss for the next 40-50 years, up to whatever time he would be there as the worker. So this was about this story, a real good smile by Bill Norton, and we stop here. The story completed.